Chapel of Remembrance, about which I spoke earlier, that's outside the old aerodrome out on the highway, you'll see in front the two gate guards, each one of them replica of the Hurricane and the Spitfire.
And it is worth remembering that during the Battle of Britain, RAF Fighter Command fielded more Hurricanes than Spitfires, and Hurricanes achieved a similarly greater proportion of combat kills during that battle, a remarkable total of 14,500 Hurricanes built. Not too many left now.
No. As a matter of fact, the last time I was here with you in 2005, we had a Hurricane Mark II, I believe, that had actually flown from Biggin Hill.
Exactly.
During the Battle of Britain.
Indeed.
And we had the only one of the few Spitfires that had flown in the Battle of Britain from Biggin Hill. And we put those two aircraft in the sky together. There wasn't a dry eye in the house.
Indeed.
It was so moving. So moving. But the Mark II Hurricane had been found as an old gate guard in India. A gate guard being an aircraft that was on display, no longer flyable. And it had collapsed into itself. There's a heap of wreckage. Was discovered by a collector and restored.
So once again, here it is, ladies and gentlemen, from the right, the Hurricane running in.
Beautiful sound of that engine. Very unique sound.
And once you know it as well, Ron, of course, despite the beautiful elliptical wings of the Spitfire, it is a very recognisable shape in the sky.
The Spitfire, you mean, or the Hurricane?
The Hurricane.
Oh, yes, absolutely. The Spitfire, of course, has a certain elegance, but it was that elegance that made it so hard to build. It took so much more time, but it was worth it. You got one heck of an airplane out of it. And that aircraft, actually, I think you were telling me earlier, survived in active duty for over 40 years.
Absolutely. The other thing, of course, is it was a bit like the F-86 that we saw earlier on. The Spitfire, without doubt, exceptional communication. If an aircraft looks right, it flies right. I think you can say that of the Hunter too.
Absolutely.
And
I'll throw the Dakota in that too, because people used to say the only aircraft that will replace the Dakota is the Dakota. Unfortunately, now here in the islands, the Dakota is no longer an aircraft that can be flown for hire.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've seen the Spitfire, we've seen the Hurricane, and now here P474, one of only two Lancasters remaining airworthy out of 7,300 were built. Joining in for the final finale. The Hurricane rolling over here. Here it comes, wonderful sound. I know many of you here, but I suppose you get a few of you here that remember back in those days these nostalgic sights and sounds. Sigh for a Merlin. This aircraft had a considerable rebuild in its life. When it came back to the UK, it was used, I think, by flight refueling at Charing Rushton. The idea was to make it into a pilotless drone, which seems a dreadful thing to do now, but it was sort of rescued and used for laminar flow wing testing. And bizarrely, the trial wings apparently were mounted vertically on the upper rear fuselage. That must have been quite a sight to see. But ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Let it talk for itself.
Wonderful.
Actually now in a different paint scheme, Phantom of the Ruhr.
Is it?
Yes, from its original, yes. It's sort of ton-up length. So the first flew, I think, 30 hops or so with 100 Squadron. And that's why it's got the letters HWR of the ton on the port side.
Here she comes again.
I have to say that I have had the pleasure of flying this machine. It is
lots of resistance.
Yeah.
He says, I don't want to go, but I don't want to go.
It's like a big tank. There it is, the gears down, ladies and gentlemen. Nice steep turn to come around from your right.
This has been a truly wonderful day. I think everyone out here is still here from early in the morning. Cold to the bone. The wind has been blowing in across the runway. We salute you all for putting up with this weather. Although it has been dry, in spite of threats to the contrary, and it has in net resulted in a magnificent day. But it's a day that we can all look back upon. Remember,
were launched in 2 attacks against London and southeast England. About half of them were shot down. It was officially announced that by 10 o'clock tonight, 175 raiders were known to have been destroyed by our fighters and anti-aircraft gunners.
Never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you look to your left now, the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight are grouping together for their big fly past with the Spitfire.